Next thing, I'm going to get my last jab in before these guys get their opening statement. We open up to you. Now, I'm going to get really serious here for a minute. Is there a mayor or a city councilman in here?
Woman.
Okay, and what are you?
I'm an alderman.
Okay.
Alderwoman.
Come stand by me. Your first name?
Bart.
Bart. Mark Nelson. Nice to meet you. Now, I did a little research. Before I come into a community, I researched Lennox, and I researched Brandon. I got a bone to pick with you, Alderman. All right. I'm with a guy that I didn't really want to be with. Our wives were friends. We went over to Worthington and had a meal, and we came through because we live over on the east side by Washington High. And we nearly got killed up there in your bridge. Can someone tell me why you have 5 freaking lanes on this side of that bridge and 5 freaking lanes on the other side, and you got 2 through that bridge? I went back into the study of 2000, 12 years ago. They identified that as an issue, and nobody's done anything yet. Now, it's metaphorically and literally a bottleneck. It is slowing the development of your community. Now, think about that. This is entrepreneurial. It didn't take a genius. All I had to do was get on Google. I love Google. They got me a new computer. I think it's a Turbo. I'm Googling everything. It's awesome. But I'm telling you, that road needs to get fixed. I don't know who the mayor is. I don't know who your representatives are. But that is hurting Brandon. And the study was from 2000. And they identified it that it needed to be changed then. And they had some other plans in there in traffic counts. And I know your traffic counts are significantly up. There's more and more people commuting from outside Harrison in that area coming down. But I would urge you as a community, and as a chamber, Kim, I would challenge you to make that an issue, to get on somebody's radar screen and make a big fuss. Because the sooner you get it done, the better. There is nothing more important, I don't think, for Brandon right now than that. I know there's infrastructure and things, and schools and taxes and all those. But am I stepping on any toes here?
We agree.
Okay, but I'm telling you, we have a rule at our place. Identify it, isolate it, address it, and resolve it. That's the Max Pro way of solving problems. And when you're an entrepreneur, we solve problems every day, all day long, over and over and over again. And I'm not an expert at it because I can't figure out how to get my company to 2 or 3 million, but I work at it, and I continue to try to grow every day. So,
would you like to run for representative
no.
for the state for our
See, Brad?
area?
That's why, Brad. No, that's why. And I was speaking up at SKSU, and this kid comes up. He said, you run for governor. And I said, no. One of the rules I have, and Brad didn't like it, I tell you I'm not running for office. I have no motive to run for office. I don't want to. I want to teach the entrepreneurial spirit. I want to help and work with other people and bring other people into this fold, basically, of the entrepreneurial spirit, and I can live out my life doing that. I have a rule. My dad died working. He was 1 month shy of his 82nd birthday, and he died driving truck in Salt Lake City. It's an awesome story, all right? He was out there alone. It's not sad, because he knew he had heart trouble and stuff, but I want to go from Max Pro to Jesus. I don't want to retire. I think America's going to need people like me and some of you others. I want to work, and I want to teach these young people how to make money and do it ethically. And I think that's a big role for us all to have. So
I will take that under advisement.
Okay, thank you. So that I relinquish the floor. I may never get it back. I want to warn you. I may never get it back. But John, would you have an opening statement? And Daryl, take about 3 or 4 minutes, if you would. And then we want to open it up to you, and we're going to have some fun. There's a bunch of stuff here we can talk about. I have more things that I can't imagine more. John, 3 minutes.
All right. Well, I'll make it even quicker than that. I think everybody, most of the people here know me. There's maybe a few people that I don't know. My name is John Small. My wife and I moved to Brandon about 6 years ago. And when we moved here, I had just started a company called the Great Spot Company. And that was an idea that I had. Driving back and forth, a 45-minute commute to a radio station in Nebraska. And we identified a need and filled the need. We write and record radio ads. My original idea was to work just with radio stations. So I thought, well, there's plenty of people out there. At the station I managed there, I had 20 salespeople. Each one of them wasted about an hour a day writing ads. They didn't like doing it. They weren't very good at it. And I said, that's 20 hours a day that they're wasting. 20 people times an hour a day. I said, boy, if we had somebody that did that for us. So I'm out looking for someone that would do it, and I couldn't find anybody that was doing that, at least not affordably enough that we could afford it in radio. So started this little company, and now we have clients in 49 states. We're missing Rhode Island of all states, that darn little state. And have had an opportunity to do a lot of really cool stuff. We just had a client featured on Celebrity Apprentice with Donald Trump about 1.5 years ago. So some really neat things in that amount of time. And as we moved to Brandon, one of the first things I did is I became a member of the chamber because I didn't know anybody. And I said, if I want to get to know some people that most of my clients are elsewhere, get to know people in this town, I'm going to become involved. And the more I got involved, the more I wanted to be a part of this town. And I convinced my wife, even though when we started the Great Spot Company, that was our 4th company, we started that business, the 4th one, she said, this is the last one. And I talked her into starting a radio station too, so, and we decided to do that right here. So I'll talk about whatever you want to talk about, but if there's any questions, I'll gladly answer those in a little bit. I'll pass it on to Daryl.
Welcome, everyone. Daryl Vandrich from Pizza Ranch. It seems like I just showed up in this building a few years ago, but now it's approaching 24 years. And pretty exciting stuff. I think if you looked at my little bio there, it tells a little bit about my history. I think the thing I would say is what I'm hoping most of you here know me, are already in business. I think really to address specific questions. I just think the number one thing in business is really to know yourself, and sometimes that's an evolving process. I've learned so much from being in business, and it isn't something I don't think you could learn in school. I think it's the thing they call experience. But it's been an amazing run, and you know, I've certainly had my setbacks, and I think those have almost the most value of all. And certainly this one has never been a setback, and this particular entity has saved the day. I teetered on the brink. I did probably bet the ranch a few times, and you know, for 24 years, I think the other thing is taking a long view. When I got into this business, I really thought my true love was football and coaching. I really thought this was just a temporary thing I was going to stick my toe in, and I had some offers early on, basically to go away, and I couldn't see myself doing anything else because I like to control, and I really don't like anybody else telling me what to do. So that's been awesome.
Brad Gullickson. I live here in Brandon. I've been a member of the chamber for 4 years or so, and don't get out here for these noon luncheons like I should. And so it's several of you in here are probably like, I don't know this guy at all, and I'm this close to actually probably meeting you on this bridge that Mark talks about. These are some very creative people, and in the commercial world, and I work in Sioux Falls, you know, I run into creativity all the time, and Daryl, I think, is a great example. I mean, of the many conversations I've had with Daryl about things that he thinks he'd like to try, I never cease to be amazed at how there really is no opposition on the creativity switch. And I think as we sat together a week and a half ago and we talked about what the focus would be, and trying to, you know, Mark was giving me a little static about trying to corral the ideas a little bit because I know that the hour goes quickly. It just comes down to wanting to provide an opportunity for people here or people that you know that are interested in being business people to not have to make every mistake on their own. You know, sometimes I think humans are really, you know, we're all weak at learning from other people's mistakes, but the opportunity is there to do that. In my work world right now, I deal strictly with commercial decisions, commercial analysis, commercial perspective, commercial lending. I'm the vice president of Dakota Business Finance right now, and so we look at loans through the government programs. We're very aggressive through CCOG and Dakota Business Finance. We have a very aggressive and highly rewarded group that are out being progressive and being bullish about this area. Sioux Falls has the incubator, which allows people to say, hey, don't make every mistake, come here and talk to us. Jeff Eckhoff, who everybody knows and reveres, you know, he's spun off into more of that right now. The Sioux Falls Development Corporation, the tools that are available, I think, just make it much easier for people that want to be successful at business. There's no reason that if you plan, that you can be successful. You know, people are always asking me, well, what are you seeing in the economy? Or didn't you just ask me something about this just a few minutes ago? And I have a hard time sometimes assimilating and explaining what I believe the perspective on our economy should be, because it has so little to do with what we hear on the news. And it's easy to paint with a broad brush and say, don't listen to the news. But I heard yesterday that they're tickled with the unemployment rate being at 8.6% and how that's a positive, you know, uptick in the economy. Whose economy, I'm not sure. You know, if they're talking about exactly, you know, who it is or what. I don't think it's our economy. I don't think it's my economy. I don't think it's our state's economy, and I don't think it's our county's economy, and it's certainly not Brandon's economy, where we sit here with some of the most amazing financial demographics that are beyond compare throughout the whole United States. So I mean, those are things I think we have to keep in perspective. I just wanted to close my opening statements by saying that we just need to be confident. You know, people are lending money. I had a bank call me this week and say, hey, we're looking to lend money in-house, 4.25% on commercial deals. You know, that's a very low interest rate. When I first got married, I had no reason to be married 34 years. My wife has had so many opportunities to take off. The first year I was married, you know, bought a house, built a convenience store, bought a place on auction that I ended up running as a restaurant, and then I started building a log house, you know, and changed jobs, and oh my God. And so, but the confidence that we should have, the tools are available, the money is available, this area that we live in, opportunities abound. Anything that the Chinese are doing for us right now, we already have proven that there's a market for it. And we should be able to build a better mousetrap than they do on a lot of these things. So there are manufacturing opportunities, you know, and so I just feel like I would want to make sure people felt that we are living in somewhat of an amazing environment right here in this state with its bills paid, and in this community and in this county, and the opportunities that are available to do things right and to plan out. I think it's just a really exciting time. So there's my opening statement.
Thank you. Now, by the way, Brad, I think you read it too. South Dakota's unemployment showed 4.1% the other day. Is that right? So that is, we really are in a nice area. And where Brad and I we're a little off the other day, but keep your eye on that $15.3 trillion debt. That's our debt as America. And America, I think, is a little sick. We're not probably sick here, but if the whole is sick, then parts are going to be sick too if we aren't careful. So just keep your eye on that and encourage those representatives to quit being Democrats and Republicans and get their tail in gear and stop spending money that we don't have and live within our budgets. It just makes me mad. The reason our company has survived, and Barb and Mark have put together a pretty good life, is we live a couple steps below where we could. We still do to this day. And we're very conservative. And we aren't afraid to take risks because we are conservative in those ways. So